TxStampin Sharon. On today's video, we're gonna make 5 very easy, elegant Christmas cards. And I have a great surprise for you too. So you don't wanna miss my surprise. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I invite you to subscribe below and then hit that bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a video or I go live on YouTube. I would love to hear y'all's comments below the video about what you think about these easy, elegant Christmas cards, because I loved them. If you currently already don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I would love to help you with your Stampin' Up supply needs. You can find out how to contact me, sign up for my newsletter, my blog, my store, all of that below the video. Just click the read more button. Let's make some Christmas cards. I recently received some requests that you needed easy, elegant Christmas cards. So that's what today's video is all about. I chose to use Wrapped in Christmas because I loved, this is my favorite sentiment. I love that scripty font. And I was like, we're going to use this stamp set. I grabbed some ink pads. And of course, we always love our bling. So I did grab this Star Designer Elements. I got my adhesive. And then let me show you what else I grabbed. I grabbed coordinating cardstock to go with my stamp pads because I chose to use the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. And we know that we hang on to these scraps because you might be able to do something with that. I know what y'all think. So I pulled out some scraps. I pre-cut some card bases using the very vanilla thick cardstock. And all of these bases are going to be the same. Some of my cards that I'm going to show you as an example, I did do a different cut. But to make this even easier, I'm changing it on the video. So my cardstock bases are 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Here's my first card. Simple. There's that sentiment that I fell in love with. The whole reason I bought the stamp set was for this right here. So, of course, we always keep those strips of copper. Now, on my card, I did use the brushed copper, but since I did not use that on all my cards, again, I'm changing it for the video. We're going to make it all be the same. If you want to substitute, they're very close. So if you want to substitute, you can. I needed a piece of Designer Series paper that was 2 inches, so that's already cut. And then I need it to be 2 inches by 5 inches. I also need my copper to be 5 inches. I need a layer of Knot of Navy that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I also need a layer of Very Vanilla that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to use my Knot of Navy ink because that matches my Knot of Navy cardstock layer. Now, if you want to change and use a different stamp set, keep in mind that all my measurements allow for the sentiment images in this stamp set. Isn't that just stunning? Just all by itself, just all by itself. And we're going to add our layers together. Making Christmas cards, we usually make multiples. You know, some years my Christmas card list has been very long. And we always need something quick but pretty. And this paper says it all. It makes it all very pretty. You don't have to do very much to make them elegant looking. And they're so easy to do. We're going to add this to the bottom. We're going to add our strip. Now, you could add more embellishments. You can make it fancier if you want. I'm just showing you how to make these elegant Christmas cards quickly. Whoops. Now we're going to add all the layers together. That is the one thing about this adhesive. It is so strong that it can tear your cardstock. Making sure our card opens the right way. We're going to add this on. I already have 2 cards. Let's keep going. Here is my second card. Again, super easy. We don't want to forget we need a piece of Very Vanilla on the inside. So we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to keep that, aren't we? Because we might use it on another card. We're going to use Mossy Meadow as our card base. I'm moving that cutter out of my way so that I can use the scoring blade. I need a piece of copper foil that is 2 inches by 5 inches. Need a piece of Designer Series paper that is 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, so now we're working on our layer. I need a piece of copper that is 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. I need a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 1 inch. Let's do it this way. 1 inch by 2 1/2. Then I need a piece of Very Vanilla that is 3 3/4. I say that every time. I don't know why. 3/4 by 2 1/4. I started to prepare all the pieces before the video and I was like, I need them to see how easy this is from start to finish. So that's why on today's video, I did not pre-cut everything. You know, these cards would be great for beginner stampers. They're just stamps, paper, and ink. If you don't have any of the supplies that I'm using, of course, you can always purchase them on my website, or you can substitute something else instead. But the reason that I love these Designer Series papers is because they're just elegant, and it just doesn't take much to make an easy, elegant card. All right, now I got to get this straight. I'm going to pull this in towards me a little bit. I hope you can still see it. But I got to get my head right over that. My head is, or the camera is in the way of me being able to get on top of it. So we're going to add this right here. We're going to add our other layer of Very Vanilla on the inside. I am running out of adhesive, so I may have to grab a refill. Now for our sentiment layer, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. That was pretty good for being, not being able to get my head over that. You know, making videos is not easy sometimes. I love all the comments that you guys leave on my videos. And it encourages me that no matter what, just keep going, just keep sharing. So that's what I do. All right, we're going to add this right here. And of course, we need some dimensionals. I can't wait to share with y'all what the surprise is at the end. All right, so we're going to add this right here. There's 2 more cards for me, so now I have 4. Okay, here is my 3rd card. So simple, so elegant. I have my Very Vanilla card base already done. I need a strip of the Designer Series paper. My Designer Series paper needs to be 3 1/4, and since I've already cut off a piece, this does measure 3 1/4. Then we're going to turn it, and I need it to be 4 1/4. I need this to be 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. That's my mat. And then I need a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. Piece of Very Vanilla that is 2 inches by 2 1/2. So I guess you could consider this video like a class, a free class. So we have all of our pieces ready. I have my Pretty Peacock ink pad, my sentiment, it's just a love-hate thing with this tape. Sometimes it works great and sometimes it doesn't, but I'm determined to use it because, well, number 1, I bought a bunch of it. But number 2, I'm not going to let adhesive get the best of me. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to add our Designer Series paper to this. And now we're going to add our layers to the card front. And now, of course, we need some dimensionals. I call it giving the card personality. Now I have 6 cards. Okay, here's this card. So easy, so pretty. First, I need a layer of Night of Navy that is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And do y'all notice I'm just grabbing scraps? Because I keep them. I know y'all keep scraps too. I'm not the only one. Now I need 4 pieces of Designer Series paper that measures 1 inch by 3 1/4. Now, I won't keep that. Will you? I need a piece of copper that is 1 inch, so we're good there, by 2 1/2 inches. And then I need a piece of Very Vanilla that is 3/4 of an inch. By 2 1/4. Have my Night of Navy ink pad. Remember, I'm only using 3 colors of ink. Well, let's see if I can do as good Stampin' It this time. Not bad, not bad. Like I said, can't get my head over the camera. All right, now for these strips, I always like to set that aside for a minute if I can. For these strips, I am going to pull in my liquid glue, and I'm going to decide which patterns do I want to have on my layer. Whoops. And which way are they going? Okay. So when you add this to this layer right here, this Night of Navy, we want them to touch. And we want about 1/8 of an inch around. Scoot that up a little bit. And so I start on the ends. And then I add the middle pieces. Now there's nothing wrong with the other side of this designer series paper. It's just not shiny, and I love shiny. Since I have my liquid glue, I'm just going to add this layer. My card front. I'm making a mess. I need my silicone mat. Y'all see that glue? My silicone mat's right there. Why didn't I grab it? All right. All right. Of course, we got to pop it up with some dimensionals. And we're done. What is that? 8 cards? So here's our last card. Another super easy card. I already have my card base ready. I have some scraps and pieces to finish up. So I need a piece of Very Vanilla. That's my layer. That is 4 inches. Oh, good. By 5 1/4. And then I need 2 strips of the designer series paper that measures 2 inches. Both of them. One is going to be 5 inches. And when you turn this over, you get the other pattern, and it needs to be 4 1/2. For my sentiment layer, I need a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 1 1/2. By 2 3/4. So we have all of our pieces ready. We're going to take our designer series paper, a pair of snips, and we're going to come up the middle, and we're just going to snip off those corners. Now, to make mine be exactly the same, I cheat. Well, not really cheating, but I just lay one on top of the other. Now, you could use your punches if you have them. But again, this is a basic stamps, paper, and ink kind of a project. So I'm just going to cheat. Not cheat, just, you know. Okay, we're going to stamp our sentiment. Friends and family are the truest gifts of Christmas. So we're going to add our papers We want them to be like this. Okay, so if you want the other end to show, just push this up where you want it. We're going to add our first layer. We're going to add this layer first. Oh goodness, my mind knows what it wants to say, I promise. Add that, and then we're going to put this where we want it. And like I said, I want that tail to show, so I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to push that up a little bit. Now we're going to add this to our card front. And I'm going to turn this over and let that liquid glue do its thing. We're going to add these two, the sentiment layer, to our colored cardstock layer. And of course, some dimensionals. Okay, so now we're going to add this to our card. And I'm going to be honest with you. Why did I add the stars? Of course, I love copper. However, I also had an issue with my cardstock. What is the best way to hide a flaw? Embellishments. So you can decide whether you want to add these or not. I've kind of got my card laid out a little bit different. So we're just going to add them just because we did that on the first one. What about one up here? There we go. Always trying to do some type of a triangle. So I have 10 cards, and I promised y'all something. I have a download that is available on my blog. If you'll click the link below the video, you will be able to download and print off all of your instructions for these cards. That way, I've made this so easy. I've designed easy cards. I've given you instructions, very simple measurements, and I hope that you are inspired to get those Christmas cards finished. Happy stamping, y'all.